Hi, I'm Glen Rosenberg. If you invest in tax-free bonds, this video should be very helpful for you. We're going to go over how to build the ideal municipal bond portfolio. Before I get into the content, I want you to know that I tried to make this video as brief as possible. So I'll abbreviate a number of things as far as the content, but what you'll notice is there's links in the video where if at any point you want greater insight into some of the subjects that I touch on, you can click the link and it'll take you to another video that I produced that'll give you more depth on that particular subject. Now, what is the ideal municipal bond portfolio? It seeks to generate the maximum amount of income while at the same time providing the maximum amount of protection for your dollars invested. As municipal bond specialists, there's three ways that we look to accomplish that. First is we try to build the core of the portfolio around bonds that are backed by taxes and backed by essential service revenue. Now, this isn't to say that we would exclude other types of bonds. Municipal bonds historically have a safety record second only to U.S. Treasuries. But we have found that these types of bonds tend to be the highest quality as far as municipal bonds go. Now, we also look to invest in bonds in the core of the portfolio that are investment grade rated. So that means bonds that are BBB through AAA. All of these, are investment grade bonds. Now, if you've never invested in BBB rated municipal bonds, I highly encourage you to check out the video I produced on them because you may be surprised to find out just how safe BBB rated municipal bonds are and just how much more income they can provide you. Okay, now again, as specialists, we give greater consideration to the type of bond as opposed to the rating on the bond. That's very, very important, and you should do the same. Ratings can be very misleading, very confusing, and oftentimes they don't tell the whole story. So learn about ratings. Learn about ratings. The type of bond is more important than the rating on the bond. And the final thing within the first principle is non-rated bonds can be a part of the core of the portfolio so long as they're, again, backed by taxes and backed by essential service revenue, preferably, and the investment firm that you work with can verify the quality of the underlying issuer. Because remember, when you're buying a non-rated bond, it doesn't come with an S&P or a Moody's report. So you're relying on the investment company's research. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is playing offense and defense. We need to play both simultaneously because there's two main risks with regard to interest rates. One risk is that interest rates could go up and bond values could go down. But the other is that interest rates could remain low for an extended period of time, and we've got to protect our portfolio against that scenario as well. So here's offense, and here is defense. The kinds of bonds that we use for defense tend to be, for example, short-term bonds. ST stands for short-term. Bonds that are 10 years and less are short-term bonds. And generally speaking, they're defensive in nature because compared to long-term bonds, they tend to hold their value better in a rising interest rate environment. Now, you may give up some income in order to stay short-term, but they might also set you up to make more money down the line by being able to swap out of these bonds into longer-term bonds that may be discounted by rising interest rates. Another type of defensive bond are premium bonds. Premium bonds are widely misunderstood, and I would encourage you to learn more about the benefits of premium bonds because this is a way that you can actually both play defense and play offense. So let's talk about what is offense. Offense are bonds that provide more yield and obviously, let me fix that, more income. But they tend to be longer in maturity. So consequently, they're more sensitive to interest rates. It's important to have both. No one knows where interest rates are going. Japan has been in an extraordinarily low interest rate environment for 2 decades at this point. So we have risks on both sides of that equation, so it's important that we defend the portfolio from both types of risk, not just from rising interest rate risk. Okay, so that's offense and defense, and you need to be playing offense and defense with your portfolio. But let's talk about the third principle. The third principle has to do with being very disciplined and no matter how attractive a particular offering is, we always want to limit ourselves to regular sized positions. A regular sized position is relative to the amount of the actual portfolio as well as the net worth of the investor. Let me give you an example. Let's say Mel has a $1.75 million net worth, and he's got $1 million of it in municipal bonds. So for what we tend to like to do is use just a very simple rule of thumb. No more than 5% in any particular bond position. That way, for Mel, he would have not only 5% relative to his portfolio, but relative to his net worth, that bond position would only represent about 2.6%. All right? So he'd be very diversified. Now, your portfolio may be less or it may be more. You can use the percentage that I'm providing you and do the arithmetic and figure out what does a regular size position mean for you. For Mel, that would be $50,000. So watch this. We use what I like to call the dartboard method. I want you to think about populating your portfolio from the standpoint almost of throwing darts. Let's say that a bond that is a bullseye would be a bond that has the perfect coupon and maturity and credit quality, and you like it very much. So you would buy a regular size position. So for Mel, that would be $50,000. Well, what if you find a bond that's not exactly a bullseye, but it's pretty close? So maybe in that case, you buy a little bit less than a regular size position, and in Mel's case, $35,000. But what happens if you find a bond that's definitely not a bullseye, but it's still attractive enough that you'd like to have a position? Well, then maybe you take a half a regular or even less than a half a regular size position. So in Mel's case, let's say $20,000 to $25,000. What you'll notice is, as we use the dartboard method, we're populating the portfolio, putting more emphasis, more weight on those bonds that represent a bullseye for you. So if you follow these three principles that I've given you, what you'll notice is your portfolio will be built around the safest type of bonds, the highest quality type of bonds. You'll also have bonds that are defensive, just in case interest rates go up. You'll also have offensive bonds, just in case interest rates remain low for an extended period of time. And you'll be very diversified, chopped up into small pieces in the event that you have trouble with any of your bonds. Now, as bond specialists, there's a few other ways that we look to maximize income as well as mitigate risk beyond the three principles that I've given you. You can get involved in non-rated bonds, premium bonds like I mentioned, special tax assessment bonds, small issues. You can get involved with safety net hospital providers. There's a variety of different niches within the bond market where we find bonds that are overlooked and undervalued. So being involved with a municipal bond specialty firm can help you to get access to those types of opportunities. So I hope this was helpful for you. Really, if you buy bonds, I can't encourage you enough. Watch the other videos that I've produced, and they should be very helpful for you to both maximize income as well as maximize the protection of your dollars invested. You have my phone number as well as my email address below. No obligation, no pressure. Feel free to contact me. I'll try to do my best to answer any questions that I can for you. So, hope this was helpful. I'm Glen Rosenberg. This was Building the Ideal Municipal Bond Portfolio, and I'll catch you on the next one.